Hey there, this is Chris from McGee and Kirk. For Get More Awesome doing these fight training videos, we're going to start going over transitions. So for all these transitions, we're gonna put one of the two of us in a bad spot, and we're going to talk about how to get from a bad spot to a bit of a better spot. So first we're going to have Kirk take mount on me. Alright, and I've got options, okay? I've got three options that we're going to talk about. The first one is shrimping. So shrimping looks like this. First, anytime I'm mounted, I want to keep my face covered, okay? Because he's going to be trying to hit me in the face. And while he's trying to hit me in the face, or maybe submitting me or whatever, I'm going to buck, which is going to create a little bit of space between me and the floor, okay? And if he stays rocked forward, especially if I buck hard enough that he rocks forward and comes onto all fours, then I create a little bit of space between me and him when I come back down onto the floor, okay? So I've bucked, step one for shrimping. I'm going to rock to one side. I'm going to rock this way so you can see my feet. I'm going to post my feet, and I'm going to try to push my hips through the space that I've created by bucking. Like that. Like that, okay? So once my hips are through, if I can, I'm going to put one elbow, let me come this way now. So I've shrimped out this way. I'm going to put an elbow on his hip to keep it from coming forward and taking that again. I'm still covering my face. I'm going to take my leg that's on top, so my right leg at this point, and I'm going to pull it through. Okay? And at this point, it's important to know that if you want to stay on the ground and gain a position of dominance, I'm not going to try and launch him off with my foot. I want to keep him close, okay? So I'm just going to keep him from driving over the top of me with this foot posted here. Yeah, you can see that. And while I'm doing that, I'm just going to bring this other leg out and I'm going to pull him into my guard, like this. Okay? Well, I'm off the camera. I'm going to scoot back a little bit. Thank you, Craig. All right. All right, so I pulled him into my guard. That's to shrimping. So just, what?
Should we do fast?
Sure, let's do it fast. Good suggestion. Alright. So, buck. Buck. Pull him into the gun. And I keep flying off this camera. Alright, that's option number one for getting out of being mounted. And that's kind of the classic scenario. That's the traditional way to get out of being mounted. Let's go into rolling out of mount. Let's have you go ahead and take mount again. All right. Important thing for rolling is that I want as little space between Kirk and me as possible. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to buck. Hopefully I get him on all fours, and then go ahead and post back up, Kirk. And if I don't get him on all fours by bucking or whatever, then I'm going to actually reach forward and grab his back, plant my face into his chest, and pull him forward, okay? So I'm taking away his leverage to hit me first. Let's scoot down a little bit. Thanks. I'm taking away his leverage to hit me, but I've also I've lowered his center of gravity, which is going to make it easier for me to roll Kirk. All right. Now with my left arm, I'm going to put my left arm in between my head and Kirk's posted arm here, okay? And I'm going to wrap that arm around his and pull his elbow in tight into his body, okay? And that's the way I'm going to roll. I trap an arm, and then see my free foot. I'm going to trap his foot with it, and what I'm doing is making it so that Kirk can't post out this way as I try to push this way. So I've trapped an arm, I trap a leg, I'm going to bridge, especially hard with my right hip, and at the same time I'm going to push with my right arm on his shoulder. Rotate your hand in so your palm is up. Yes. And then I just push, and I end up in Kirk's guard. All right. Let's do that again really quick, and let's do it quick, a little bit faster. And you know what, this time, let me show you how futile it is to try and make a roll if I don't trap anything, okay? So let's say I buck, I get him close to me, okay? And if at this point I try rolling, he can post out with this side. So he is going nowhere. Did you see that leg go out? I mean, I could push as hard as I want and he's gonna go nowhere. So start over. Got a buck. Got to trap this arm. Got to trap this leg. All right, perfect. One more thing, and this is not always taught because it's too simple, actually. It's just too simple, but with people who don't have any experience fighting on the ground, it works a lot. So getting out of mount, last thing. Sometimes, in order to close that distance between you and your opponent that has you mounted, you buck and they don't come forward, so they just stay posted up. And in fact, they'll start to lean back. And as soon as someone starts leaning back, you're gonna do a major crunch, and you're gonna push on them and land in their guard. Okay? That's it. Okay, so it's just they start to lean back when you buck, then you slowly, I need to post up on an elbow on my way up. I need to flatten my legs to the side so that he's not just running into my knees, right? And then I'm going to keep pushing on him as I roll forward. So one more time. Yep. So I'm bucking and he's just leaning back. Okay, and I get frustrated about it. And he's just leaning back. Works more often than you would think for people who aren't used to ground fighting. All right, great. That's the transitions for getting out of mount. Gave you 3 good options there.